One of my favourite memories from school was going to the tuck shop. In fact, all of my great memories were going to the tuck shop at school. But one of the things I used to always get is a coffee scroll. Now, I'm going to make a coffee scroll or something like it, but instead of using a yeast dough, I'm going to show you how to do it using Fillo pastry, and it's really, really easy. I've got my favourite ingredients here, but if you want to make something a little bit different and add some different things, it's up to you, really. But I've got some brown sugar, about half a cup of that, about half a cup of currants, and I've got some breadcrumbs here. These are fresh breadcrumbs that I've whizzed up in my Maggi mix, and they've got a little bit of body to it. They give you a sort of yeasty flavour. And some pistachio nuts that have been roasted and chopped. And as you can see, they're quite coarsely chopped. I like a bit of crunch in them. And almond meal. Almond meal brings it all together. Now to that, I'll add some coffee. About 2 or 3 shots of coffee, maybe 100 mils or so, straight in here. Now if you don't want to add coffee, you can add something else if you want, but I reckon coffee gives it a great flavour. And after all, it is called a coffee scroll. Some vanilla paste, about a tablespoon of that goes in there. And for me, I like to put some Kahlua in there, and I'll put a couple of tablespoons of that. And to bind it all together, just a tablespoon of melted butter. Now the thing is to mix it all around nice and gently so it's evenly distributed, to make it so that you can crumble it over the Fillo pastry. I'll show you that bit later. But if it's in a bowl like this, you just mix it around for a minute or so till it's really evenly combined. Fillo pastry, one of my favourite things to use. The trick with the Fillo pastry is to take it out of the fridge and let it come up to room temperature before you use it. It's a lot easier to use if it's been brought up to room temperature. Now with a pastry brush, and this is a paintbrush that I use specifically for Fillo pastry, I use a big brush like this because it makes it a lot easier just to go across the outside of this. It gets a whole lot of butter across it very, very quickly and easily. Now with the filling here, I just sprinkle it around the outside and get it fairly sort of even, but don't get too crazy about it because you're going to fold it up anyway. Grab this piece here, fold it into the centre, pat it down like that, give it a little bit of butter like that and a little sprinkle of some filling on it. And then roll it across like that. A little bit more butter across the top. Then you can see we use plenty of butter for this dish. Then grab the end like this and roll it around the outside. And you've got your own individual coffee scroll. I'll just give that a rub of butter. And the dish that I'm using to cook it in is this one. I'm going to pop that in there like that. If you want to, you could always butter the tray, but it's not really necessary. All I need to do now is finish off the rest of these, pop them into the oven. I'll cook them at about 200 degrees Celsius. You'll know they're cooked because you'll smell them first of all, and you'll see the pastry will be nice and golden brown. I can't wait to finish this one off. You can tell when the Fillo pastry is ready when it goes nice and crunchy like this. This looks fantastic and it smells great. The trick with this is to let it cool down a little bit. And while it's cooling down, it's a good time to add a little bit of this to the top of it. What I have put together is a little mixture of icing sugar and coffee. Some icing sugar to make it look fantastic. And all we need to do is let this cool down a little bit, make myself an espresso, and you can see how easy it is to pull apart. You just grab this little piece here. It's quite hot, so I'll let it cool down, but this is ready to eat. This is going to be delicious. It smells fantastic, and I know it will taste just as good as well.